Welcome to the 21st Hayley-Roxanna Crafts quick crochet video, where I share information, hints and tips on one area of crochet in a short video. In this video, I'm focusing on how to do alternatives to the magic circle. In my last quick crochet video, I demonstrated the magic circle or magic ring, which is used to start most amigurumi projects. They are also sometimes used when crocheting squares or other shapes in the round. However, I did say that there are some alternatives that could be used if you are really struggling to get to grips with magic circles, and I'm going to demonstrate a couple in this video. The first method I am going to demonstrate is the 2-chain method. As I am right-handed, these instructions are intended for right-handed crocheters. However, if you are a left-handed crocheter, you could use me as a mirror image so you reverse the hand positions and orientation. I am using DK yarn and a 4.5mm hook to demonstrate with, but the process is the same regardless of the yarn weight and hook size. For the 2-chain method, you start by joining the yarn to the hook with a slip knot. You then make 2 chains. 1, 2. Then you crochet all the stitches for the first round into the second chain from the hook. So I am crocheting treble crochets in the UK terms, or double crochets if you work in US terms, but you just want to make them all into that same chain space. 2, so I'm doing 6 stitches into this chain space. And then you join with a slip stitch into the top of your first treble crochet to complete the round. Like so. As you can see, the hole in the middle, I'll just move that out of the way, is a little bit bigger than the hole you get in the middle when you do a magic circle. But if you want to close it further, it is still quite small, but if you want to close this further, you can weave in the tail end and pull it tighter in the same way that I weaved in the tail end when I did a magic circle. So you can weave it in one way and give it a pull and then weave it back the other way. And if you want to be extra sure that it's not going to loosen, you could just do a little knot in your end as well. Just knot it to a strand just to make sure, and then weave it back again. But there is the 2-chain method. The second method I'm going to demonstrate is the 4-chain method. And again, you start by joining the yarn to your hook with a slip knot. But this time we're going to make 4 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you want to join the 2 ends of your chain together. And to do that, we are just going to do a slip stitch into this first chain. So just insert your hook into that first chain, pull the yarn through and pull it through to make our circle. But we've got a little hole in the centre there, and that's where we're going to work all our stitches this time. But I am going to start with a chain 3 to count as my first treble crochet. 2, 3. Obviously, if you're using US terms, it'd be a double crochet. And then we're just going to make the rest of the stitches into that very centre. So you want to insert your hook through the centre to make your stitches. There's 6. And then to complete the round, we are going to do a slip stitch into the top chain of that chain 3 we did at the beginning to count as our first stitch. Okay. Through. There we go. Now this time you do get a much bigger hole in the centre when you're only doing 6 stitches particularly. But again, you can close that hole up by weaving in the tail end, just like we did with the magic circle. So weaving in one way, weaving in the other, doing a knot if you want to make sure it's not going to come undone and come loose, but just weave it in securely to complete the alternative to the magic circle, the 4 chain method. I would advise practicing the magic circle, as it is best to use this when making amigurumi, especially over the 4 chain method, which can have a larger hole left at the centre even with attempts to close it that stuffing might be able to escape through. However, for many projects, either of these alternatives would be acceptable to use. But like most things in crocheting and crafting in general, it is down to your personal preferences and what the pattern requires. So try the different ways and go with what you think works best for you and your projects. If you have any questions about alternatives to the magic circle, please pop them in the comments. In the next quick crochet video, I will demonstrate the double crochet spike stitch in UK terms, or the single crochet spike stitch in US terms.